What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Wizards Outlook. It's another very late night, early morning. It's the end of the Wizards West Coast road trip, at least this one that is. Cardell Dudley Jr. joining me this morning. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. And let's get straight to it, Cardell. We had a third quarter Warriors make an appearance in the 129-118 takedown of the Washington Wizards. Uh, the Warriors put up 38 points in the third quarter to blow open the game, take control of the game, and effectively pretty much end the game right there in that third quarter. We saw both teams kind of start the game slow in terms of hitting shots from deep, and then we sort of Steph get going, the Warriors get going, and them get stops. We talked about the rebounding the other night, well last night, and the thing I was concerned about, or I felt couldn't happen, happened in a terrible way. And like you said, you're giving second chance opportunities to snipers. Some point is going to catch up to you. Your thoughts on tonight?
I just think the third quarter, I think when Steph Curry exploded, like we all pretty much been saying all season, when the Wizards get hit, when they get rocked, they're the type of fire. Once they hit the mat, they're not getting back up. The 10-second count was going to come. Yeah, they got out rebounded 57-39 by Golden State, but they still won a second chance battle 19-13. You know what I'm saying, over Golden State. And the thing about that is because when Golden State get a second chance opportunity, unlike the Portland Trailblazers, they're not going back up necessarily. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for shooters, and that's why they don't score as much second chance points as everyone else, like Portland last night. But at the same time, those are less possessions for the Wizards. Regardless. So if you can't stop them, which is what happened in the third quarter when the Warriors really woke up and built the big lead. If you can't stop them and you're not getting a rebound to, the extra possessions from rebounds to try to make up for that, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? The other team is bound to build up a double-digit lead. That's what happened. And obviously the Wizards then come back from that. But to me, that third quarter, and it goes back to what I said last night, whenever the Wizards give up a 40-point quarter, something close to it, they lose that game. It's as simple as that. It's a common thing. It's been happening all season. If they hold on to around 30 or below in a quarter for four quarters, they're hitting their shots, of course, they usually win those games. But as you can see, they're 5-22, so that tells you what mostly happens. The majority of the time, man. But the third quarter, man, that was just, Steph, and he was shooting poorly in the first half. But the third quarter, he shot he scored 13 points with 4-6, but he was 4 or 5 from deep. All his buckets were threes, and that's 12 points right there. Boom, quickly. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about Steph. It doesn't take much, and that's why I was just worried, man. I was just like, would they be disciplined? Would they be able to scramble and rotate and find their shooters, find Steph, find Clay? You know what I mean? And obviously in the third quarter, the answer was no. You know what I mean? Because Steph was 1 for 6 in the first quarter, 1 for 4 from deep. The Wizards won that quarter 28. Well, the Wizards were down 25-28. Then in the second quarter, the Wizards won that quarter 36-35. See what I'm saying? Steph started getting going. So you had to understand that the third quarter, after that, in the second half, that he was going to try to put the game away. In the second quarter, he had 14 points, 4 or 6 from the field, 3 or 4 from deep. We all know what Steph is. He's a killer. So if he senses any, any type of, so to speak, blood on the water like a shark, he's coming. And then in the third quarter, we all know what he did. And, that was that. That was game. So I think it just really came down to that third quarter, man. And it's usually the case for the Wizards, man. And for you to kind of lose by double digits to a Warriors team that's missing 2 key people, and obviously Draymond and Andrew Wiggins, it's just telling, man. They gotta be. We've been saying all year they gotta be tougher than that. You gotta be mentally tough. You know it's coming. You know Steph won't go on the run. He's one of the greatest players of all time. He's not gonna go 1 for 20. It's not realistic. So you gotta be ready for that run. You gotta take that run and then give a run of your own to try to win the game. And their run really didn't come. You know what I mean? So especially with Kyle Kuzma being off, uh, Denny, up and down Denny. That's what it is with him. Gafford, like I said, as I expected, the Warriors watched tape on him. You know what I'm saying? They ain't let him come down, have a whole bunch of blocks, a whole bunch of rebounds, whatever, like they did tonight, even though he still scored efficiently. Jordan Poole, I figured he would be amped up to go against his old team and stuff like that. And it showed at times with some of his shot selections, but he's been doing that all year. Even though he still had 25 points, he just got to the line, knew he was going to be ultra aggressive. Tyus Jones, he's just a super vet. He always kind of be consistent. You know what I mean? Corey Kispert was big off the bench, 18 points at 7:15. Outside of that, that was it. There's only about 2 or 3 Wizards that really showed up tonight. You know what I mean? So, meanwhile, you see all the double-digit scores for the Warriors, including their rookie, Trace Jackson-Davis. Monster double-double, 10 points, 15 rebounds. He was the guy that made sure Daniel Gafford didn't disrupt the game. It's just little things like that. I just feel that the Wizards didn't adapt to throughout the game, and that's the reason why they lost.
Wholeheartedly agreeing. Like you mentioned, Kispert giving us something off the bench. You saw Golden State they have multiple people coming off the bench and making immediate impact for them tonight. You mentioned Trace, said the other rookie too. Pods, he started, he didn't come off the bench, but he was productive as well. On the glass, again, you told them watching tape, making sure they kept Gaff off the glass. And for the rest of the Wizards, something we've mentioned several times is, all right, it can't just be Gaff on the glass. So we see a team go out their way to make sure Gaff isn't going to do what he's going to do. Other people have to step up. And instead, we saw Golden State's guards go flood and hit the glass. It was by committee. You mentioned Trace with the 15. Chris Paul had 7. Pods had 7. Guards, was that 14 boards from 2 guards?
Mm-hmm.
2 small guards at that. I get what Trace did, not planning on it, whatnot, whatever. Steph had 7. Steph had 4. But that issue on the glass, man, you weren't supposed to get punched on the glass tonight. And you mentioned last night, you didn't anticipate Golden State planning to allow Gafford to come in and continue the production the tear that he's been on this month, especially on the glass. And as you mentioned about being mentally tough, it just wasn't a good look. It's not a good way to end the trip. They're coming home after the holidays. It's a 4-game homestand. Right, what was it? 38 last night. They survived a big quarter from Portland last night. Then they gave up 38 in that quarter. Then today it was 38 in the third.
I think it was 37. Let me check.
30. Oh, my bad. It might be 37. Sorry, but
yeah, in the fourth quarter, 37.
So that's back-to-back nights. Like it's hard to live like that, let alone win.
We not even gonna bring up the Kings game. That's
I'm not going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's you got to
get 3-point quarter is a wrap. It's over.
You got to give yourself a chance, and that's the opposite of it. He said, what's it called? I think it's Golden State's 4th straight. Right, this is one of the first times all year Steph's got to be off the court in the 4th.
Yeah, like the old days with the Warriors.
Right.
And just chill. With KD, just smack him early in the third quarter, chill for a quarter and a half, man.
Like you even saw Clay catch a little bit of rhythm, not a big one, but he had moments in this one as well. But for Washington, stuff you get some days to collect yourselves, and again, 4-game home stretch coming up starting next week. Player of the game.
Obviously, Wardell. That's it. Give it to Wardell, man. That third quarter won.
For sure.
He just took their soul like he tend to do when people don't stay glued to him, and he gets going.
And like you said, you could definitely see it coming midway. Not even midway, just down the stretch of the first half. You saw him heating up, and 38 in the third is crazy. X Factor tonight.
And that was more tough. I'm probably
Mhm.
gonna do a Cole tonight.
Okay.
Jonathan Kuminga and Tracy Jackson Davis. I feel like Jackson Davis, his double off the bench was just huge, especially considering they're not really calling this number like that. He was 5 of 7. And Jonathan Kuminga is just his efficiency and his defense on cues, man. He won that battle thoroughly. 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, but he was 9 of 11 from the field. Man, he held Kuz to 3 of 11. You know what I'm saying? 7 points and 9 rebounds. Hey, man, you just tip your hat to him. The impact on both ends, that was key to the Warriors win.
Again, I'm going to double down on that too. The pressure that he put on Washington from, the entire night. He didn't waste any time. Every time he looked up, he was slashing down the middle of the lane. And it's not like it was just, off ball cutting. Like putting the ball on the floor and just putting pressure. And we know we know that they struggle defensively as is. And you talk about his efficiency. Those two tonight were huge, and we're seeing them, both of them, finding a way to kind of gain more minutes in the rotation. Obviously, in different places with Trace being a rookie, haven't been here for a while, but big steps from both of them. I'm sure Golden State is very happy on their performances tonight and the past couple games, for sure. If you had anything else to add to this game, you want to jump to the comments.
And real quick, shout out to Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't score. He had 4 points. He didn't shoot the ball well. He shot 28% from the field. But that dude just doing what he can to help the process, help the team win. He had 10 assists. He had a game out 10 assists and 7 rebounds. Yeah, I mean, and 25 minutes off the bench. That's huge, man. That's a vet that just understands where he is in his career and just doing whatever it takes to win. Setting an example. So he's first ballot Hall of Fame easy. So if he's accepting his role, he's not complaining, he's doing what he got to do, that pretty much shuts everyone else up. You see what I'm saying? Especially young guys, you can't say nothing. You know what I mean? So I felt like he was huge, man, just controlling the game as well and doing basically what I wish they would allow Tyus Jones to do more of.
Control the game. But not hell of a night from Chris Paul. All right, Bleezy Baby, first comment. I knew coming into this game was going to be a loss because Warriors IQ is better higher than the Wizards. You followed that up with Wizards need to change their culture because they don't have what it takes to compete in the league, in my opinion.
Whatever, as Bill Parcells once said, you are what your records say, it is. You know what I'm saying? You are what it is. But we all know what it is, man. Like they're competing, but they're also tanking. They're trying to get draft picks because that's the main reason. Honestly, I don't. Unless a miracle happens, I don't see any free agents coming in the next few years or any free agents that they can attract. So that's the main way and the only way they're gonna probably be able to build their team up. They're gonna have to draft well. You know what I mean? Or even if they trade, they got hit on that too. You know what I mean? So it's a lot that needs to change if they're trying to get back to a winning situation. But right now, we all know what it is. But my thing is still compete. You know what I mean? Just like you did in Portland, you still competed and you managed to get your fair share of wins. Just because your tank is trying to get the high picks and stuff like that, which guarantees nothing if you tank, because you would still end up with like the 14, 15 pick at the end of the lottery, then you still in the mix any dang way. That's why you might as well just compete to win. You still play to win regardless. You still play to win. You know what I mean? Because even the young guys that are there, you still giving them good habits. Bilal Coulibaly and all those guys, Kispert, is still developing good habits. So, God will, in the next few years, when you do build up a team that's capable of winning, they're ready to go. You know what I'm saying? They have winning habits. They can instill that in the younger guys, and then you have a culture of doing whatever it takes to win, and that's what the Wizards should be building for.
All right, Area 11T called it. Jackson Davis went to work on the boards. put that up when we were talking about, recapping the game a little earlier. He said our team's favorite chant, defense. What is that? Defense. Um, just ready for some trades and to watch the young guys play most of the minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it's too many Wizards with any trade value. Can't just sit $100 million dudes or whatever on the bench just to play the young guys, especially right now in December. So just buckle up and enjoy the ride, man. You know what I'm saying? Just hope the Wizards compete night in and night out. That's all you can do.
Facts, and like you said, is along the way, we know it's a hard reset. Along the way, you can still establish a culture of competition. Like bare minimum, just every night, this is the standard. And as you said, as at least hopefully that's something that they can establish through these times, as they try to build.
But at the same time, that's on the players. Coach shouldn't have to motivate you, especially being an NBA player, to compete. No, I know it might sound cliche or whatever, but you're the love of the game and that nice check that you get twice a month, that should be motivation enough. And just the fact that if you don't show up and play, every night there are guys on the other side, on the opposite end, on the opposing team that can embarrass you. So that alone should motivate you. And if it doesn't, if you need something to really get into, I get the dog days and stuff like that. Find something to motivate you. Social media has, especially as bad as you are, it ain't hard to find on social media. Search your name. I'm pretty sure you're going to find a whole lot of negativity, something to piss you off, to motivate you. Do what you got to do to be at the top of your game every night. And you have to do those things. If somebody has to push that out of you, from the coaching staff or above, and in the front office, something's wrong. Simple as that.
Man, don't think there's any more comments. We appreciate y'all staying up with us, watching tonight's game, discussing it afterwards. Hope you all have a good holidays, and we'll talk to y'all afterwards, after the holidays. Credit on myself. See y'all soon.